Hey there, friends! Welcome back to Living Disease Free, your go-to channel for practical, science-backed tips to live healthier and thrive, even with diabetes. Today, we're diving into a topic that could be a game changer for anyone managing diabetes. 5 everyday foods that can help lower blood sugar naturally. These aren't exotic superfoods flown in from halfway across the globe. They're simple, affordable ingredients you can find at your local grocery store or farmer's market. But here's the catch. It's not just about eating them. It's about using them the right way, at the right time, to unlock their full potential. If you've been diligently tracking your blood sugar, sticking to a strict diet, and still feel exhausted, with stubborn A1C levels, tingling hands and feet, or restless nights, this video is for you. We'll uncover why cutting out all sweets isn't the whole answer, and how these 5 foods can quietly support your pancreas, kidneys, and blood vessels to help your body regulate insulin naturally. Stick with me until the end because the last food might surprise you. It's something so common, yet so misunderstood. Let's get started. Black bean tea, the humble drink that revives your pancreas and kidneys. Let's kick things off with a simple, budget-friendly drink you can make right in your kitchen, black bean tea. Now I know what you're thinking. Beans in a tea? Hear me out. This isn't your average sweetened iced tea or a smoothie. Black bean tea, made from roasted black beans, is a powerhouse for people with diabetes. If you're waking up feeling dizzy, with achy joints, or dragging through the afternoon with sore knees and no appetite, your pancreas and kidneys might be crying for help. Blood sugar spikes and dips can feel like a roller coaster, and this drink can help smooth things out. A study from a leading university in Japan showed that drinking about 1.5 ounces of roasted black beans daily for 8 weeks lowered A1C levels by an average of 0.8% in type 2 diabetes patients. Even better, it reduced numbness in the feet, frequent nighttime urination, and eye fatigue. Why does it work? Black beans are packed with anthocyanins and flavonoids, antioxidants that fight inflammation in the pancreas, protect blood vessels in your eyes, and support kidney function. These compounds also help reduce insulin resistance, stabilizing blood sugar after meals. But here's where people go wrong. Roasting the beans too long burns away those precious compounds. Adding sugar, honey, or even ginger can spike your glucose instead of lowering it. Drinking it all day like water can mess with your electrolytes or drop your blood sugar too low. So, here's how to do it right. Use dried black beans, ideally the small, shiny kind. Roast them lightly until they crack and smell nutty, not burnt. Boil about 1.5 ounces of beans in 6 cups of water for 10 to 12 minutes. Then let it cool. Split it into 2 servings, one 30 minutes after breakfast, and one in the late afternoon, around 4 or 5 p.m. Never drink it on an empty stomach, and don't use it as a water replacement. If you're on strong diuretics, have low blood pressure, or diarrhea, skip this one to avoid imbalances. Have you tried black bean tea before? Maybe you brewed it, but didn't feel a difference because the timing or method was off. Give it a go the right way, and let me know in the comments. Type the number 1 if you're starting with black bean tea to support your pancreas and kidneys. I'd love to hear how it works for you. Purslane, the overlooked leaf that tames blood sugar. Daily next up is a leafy green you might have walked past in the garden or grocery store without a second thought, purslane. If you're eating boiled veggies and lean meats, avoiding fruits like grapes or even milk because you're terrified of blood sugar spikes, yet your A1C is still creeping up, listen up. High blood sugar isn't just about sweets. It's about how your liver, pancreas, and gut process sugar. If those organs are inflamed or sluggish, even the strictest diet won't get insulin working properly. That's where purslane comes in, a cooling, detoxifying green that boosts insulin from the inside out. A 2019 study from a top medical university in Vietnam found that eating 10 to 12 fresh purslane leaves daily for 6 weeks lowered post-meal blood sugar by 1.6 to 2.1 millimole L without changing medication doses. It also improved liver enzymes, cholesterol, and digestion. Purslane is loaded with tannins, alkaloids, and fiber, which slow sugar absorption in the gut and nudge your pancreas to produce more insulin naturally. Plus, its fiber helps with constipation, a common issue for older adults with diabetes. But here's the mistake many make. Eating unwashed purslane can expose you to bacteria or pesticides. Eating too much at once can cause bloating or digestive upset. And pairing it with high-sodium dips like soy sauce or processed dressings can spike your blood pressure and glucose. Here's the right way. Pick young, tender purslane leaves, soak them in diluted salt water for 10 minutes, and rinse thoroughly. Eat 10 to 12 leaves daily, either raw with grilled chicken, steamed eggs, or chopped into rice. You can also blend it into a diluted juice to sip after lunch or dinner, but limit juice to 2 to 3 times a week, especially if you have stomach issues. If you have irritable bowel syndrome or frequent diarrhea, go easy and avoid raw juice. Who knew this humble weed could be such a blood sugar ally? If you've eaten purslane before and didn't realize its power, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're giving it a try. Share this video with a friend who might be missing out on this natural gem. Shallots, the tiny spice that wakes up your pancreas. Now, let's talk about a tiny kitchen staple you probably have in your pantry. Shallots. These small, pungent bulbs, sometimes called pearl onions, are a secret weapon for diabetes management. Ever notice how, after a carb-heavy meal, you feel sleepy, foggy, or get tingling in your feet? That's a sign your pancreas is struggling to pump out enough insulin, or your body isn't responding to it well. Shallots can help wake up your pancreas naturally without upping your meds. A 2018 study from a National Nutrition Institute found that shallots are rich in allicin, saponins, and flavonoids. Allicin boosts insulin production and sensitivity in the liver and muscles, while flavonoids and saponins reduce inflammation in the tiny blood vessels of your eyes, kidneys, and nerves. Prime targets for diabetes complications. In a 3-month trial, type 2 diabetes patients who ate 2 to 3 small raw shallots daily saw their A1C drop from 7.8% to 6.9%, with better cholesterol and less numbness in their limbs. But here's where people mess up. Eating shallots on an empty stomach can irritate your stomach, especially if you have ulcers or acid reflux. Frying them at high heat destroys allicin. Eating too many, say 5 or more a day, can cause bloating or mild diarrhea. Here's the right way. Use 2 to 3 small, raw shallots, lightly crushed to release their compounds. Eat them with rice, boiled veggies, or oatmeal. You can also pickle them in vinegar or toss with a little olive oil for a light salad. Consume them 10 to 15 minutes after lunch or dinner, 3 to 4 times a week. If the smell's too strong, lightly sauté them with greens or mix into oatmeal to make them easier to eat without losing benefits. Don't sleep on this tiny spice. It's not just for flavoring soups. If your A1C is stuck or you're tired after meals, try adding shallots to your routine. Drop a 3 in the comments if you're ready to give shallots a shot to revive your pancreas. Guava, the misunderstood fruit that stabilizes blood sugar. Let's move on to a fruit that's often unfairly avoided by people with diabetes. Guava. I get it. Fruits like mangoes, bananas, or even oranges can send your blood sugar soaring, leaving you dizzy or sweaty. So, many folks cut out all fruit, thinking it's the safe choice. But that's a mistake. Not all fruits are the enemy. Mangi, and guava is a standout for blood sugar control. A 2021 study in the Journal of Clinical and Diagnostic Research found that guava has a super low glycemic index of 20 to 25, lower than apples, oranges, or even sweet potatoes. That means it doesn't spike blood sugar like other fruits. Guava's pectin, a soluble fiber, slows sugar absorption after meals. Its vitamin C and potassium protect small blood vessels and nerves while reducing inflammation in the liver and pancreas. With low fructose, it's safe for insulin resistance. In an 8-week trial, eating about 3.5 ounces of just ripe guava daily before meals lowered A1C by 5%, reduced sugar cravings, eased constipation, and slightly stabilized blood pressure. But here's where people go wrong. Peeling guava strips away its fiber-rich skin. Dipping it in salty or spicy mixes like chili salt spikes sodium and glucose. Juicing it removes the fiber, letting sugar hit your bloodstream too fast. Eating it on an empty stomach can cause bloating. Here's how to do it right. Choose guavas that are just ripe, with green skin, not too soft. Wash well, keep the skin on, and slice thinly. Chew slowly to maximize absorption. Eat about 3.5 ounces 30 minutes before or an hour after a main meal, 3 to 4 times a week. Pair it with roasted black beans or unsweetened yogurt for a perfect snack. If guava feels tough, soak slices in diluted salt water for 10 minutes to soften and reduce tartness. Avoid chemically treated or overripe guavas. Guava isn't just a snack. It's a blood sugar stabilizer you can find at any market. If you've skipped fruit out of fear, it's time to rethink guava. Drop a 4 in the comments if you're ready to add guava to your diabetes-friendly menu. Black sesame seeds, nature's blood sugar, filter in your gut. Finally, let's talk about a tiny seed that packs a big punch. Black sesame seeds. If you feel wiped out after meals, even when you're eating light and avoiding sweets, it could be because your gut is absorbing sugar too fast, overwhelming your pancreas. Black sesame seeds act like a natural filter, slowing down that process and giving contain sesamin and sesamol, compounds that inhibit enzymes that break down carbs into sugar, preventing post-meal spikes. Omega-6, vitamin E, lignans, and plant-based fats boost insulin sensitivity, protect blood vessels in your eyes and kidneys, and reduce pancreatic inflammation. In an 8-week study, type 2 diabetes patients who ate 10 grams of black sesame seeds daily saw A1C drop by 0.4 to 0.6%, with less fatigue and fewer afternoon slumps. But here's the catch. Eating raw sesame seeds is hard to digest and locks away their nutrients. Over-roasting burns out their antioxidants. Mixing them with honey, sugar, or sweetened condensed milk turns them into a sugar trap. Eating more than 20 grams a day can cause overheating, diarrhea, or bloating. Here's the right way. Lightly roast 5 to 10 grams, 1 to 2 teaspoons, of black sesame seeds until fragrant but not blackened. Sprinkle them on oatmeal, rice, steamed veggies, or mix into unsweetened yogurt for a morning or afternoon snack. Use them 3 to 4 times a week, avoiding sugary pairings like desserts or sweetened drinks. Black sesame seeds aren't just for topping bagels. They're a gut-level blood sugar shield. If you're struggling with post-meal spikes despite medication and diet, try adding a sprinkle of these seeds. Drop a 5 in the comments if you're excited to try black sesame seeds to tame your blood sugar. Friends, we've just explored 5 simple, powerful foods: black bean tea, purslane, shallots, guava, and black sesame seeds that can lower blood sugar, reduce insulin resistance, OCD, and support your pancreas, kidneys, and liver. These aren't miracle cures, but with consistent, correct use tailored to your body, they can help bring your blood sugar into a safer range naturally and sustainably. If you've tried trendy foods like quinoa or chia seeds without results, it might be about timing or method. Don't give up. Small changes add up over time. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 foods are you starting with? Drop a single number, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, in the comments to let me know. Hit that like button if this video gave you new ideas, and share it with someone who might need a boost in their diabetes journey. Subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss our next video on spotting diabetes complications early, reviving your pancreas after years of meds, and more everyday foods for a healthier, longer life. Your small action today, like, comment, share, could spark hope for someone tomorrow. Stay strong, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.